Hello, I'm Aaron Hall, and today we're going to go over the Logisys software Mobile Trak and do the essential training as well as the basic instructions. Let's get started. Today we're going to cover access login, call information, how to use the mobile interface, what the tabs mean, how to see the status of the whole department, how to send and receive messages, as well as several other things that you can do with Mobile Trak. We're going to start with logging in. We're here at the welcome screen, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on this icon, the Internet Explorer icon, Stockton Mobile Trak homepage. We double click on that and we're going to pull up the Stockton Fire Department's landing page. We're going to use the firefighter login to log into CAD. We're going to enter our username. In this case right now we're using the name of the apparatus, so I'm going to use Decon 10, and then we're going to enter in our password, hit apply, and that will bring us into Mobile Trak. And by default it will go to the CFS view. We want to go over a few things that we need to know before we really get started and get going with this. As we move through this program, we realize that it is built for our CAD and anyone else we service, so we'll be able to see all the units that are available within the system. However, right now we're only interested in Stockton, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Update. You'll find in the top menu. Go down to Resource Groups and click on that. We're going to select our resource groups. Here it says Show All CFS and Units. We're going to uncheck that box. We're going to click on Stockton Fire Department. We just want to see Stockton Fire Department calls. And then we have to go into Mobile View, hit Update, Resource Groups again, Show All CFS Units of Stockton Fire Department, OK, and we're only going to see Stockton Fire Department calls and units. The same thing goes with Status View and Messages as well. And we're going to go back to CFS View, and we'll get started there. And we're only looking at Stockton Fire calls and Stockton Fire Department units. Here in the CFS view, the top pane shows the calls that are currently in the system. Below that, where it says CFS None, the blank fields will be populated with the information pertaining to that call. The next area down, where it says Comments, it has a series of tabs that shows you information that is pertinent to that call. And at the bottom of the screen, we have the command line, which we will go over later on in the video. In the top pane, we can scroll through calls that are sitting in the system. Many of these are advice calls, as it shows here in the status. As we scroll through, we can see what is going on within the department. If we're interested to see what a call is all about, we can select the call and then double click on that call. The information pertaining to that call will show up in the next pane. The CFS number, call for service number, will be shown here, and we can scroll down and look at more information pertaining to that call. This call is actually not a very good call to look at, so we're going to go ahead and select another call that might show us a little more information. Here we have selected a call at 1021 Industrial Drive. Within the CFS pane, for the call information, we have the CFS number, the incident address, what the business is, a callback telephone number, who the caller was, here on the left. And with emergency calls, we'll also get additional information like the phone number of the location that the caller is at. So the next pane down we have comments, and these are comments that will be pertinent to the incident that will have been placed there by ECD. We can scroll through those by clicking on the scroll bar to the right. If you notice, it says incident located in District 802. that the system is in test. The address was changed at 10:35 and that the unit was advised. Next we have a DR number. This DR number is actually our incident number when a call for service is actually assigned a unit to respond. We'll get a DR number. Here we don't have a DR number because a unit was not assigned. Following that we have alerts. These alerts will show us information that is important to the call, like the geo information, cross streets. We can drag this line over to see that the call is on Gibraltar Court and South Airport. Those are the cross streets. And the hazard at 1021 Industrial Drive is corn products. We have previous history. We can scroll through and look at it and see that they've had calls. If we want the information, we can double click and it'll show us previous call information. We'll go ahead and close that pane. SOP is for standard operating procedures. We don't currently have standard operating procedures filed in this CAD server, so when you click on that tab, you probably will not pull anything up. Cross-reference. We don't have any cross-references right now for this address. And for the boundary, it'll show us District 802. The thing about Mobile Trak, if you want to know your district number right away, if you can go right to boundary when your call comes in and find your district listed here. So here we are in Mobile View. In Mobile View, the top pane, we show the calls that are pending within the system and have units attached. Beneath that, we have a list of units that are on the calls, and below that we have an area that shows our basic MDC functions: in quarters, dispatch, en route, staging, on scene, available on radio, and unavailable. As you recall, I signed in as DCON 10. And so I've had dispatch send me a test call at 2903 West March Lane. At the top of the screen, we will find that 2903 West March Lane is listed with the attached unit of DCON 10. I will double click on that. That will pull up my incident location, 2903 West March Lane. It's going to give me a CFS report in a separate window. This is listed as a still alarm in District 407E. And that's the basics of the information. It was entered by Jim 9246. I'm going to go ahead and close that CFS window. In the next pane down, you'll see that DCON 10 is listed in gray and that it is pulled out of the system and is now attached to a call. Dispatch is highlighted in pink, and that shows that we have been dispatched on a call. We do not need to hit the dispatch button again. At this point, we're going to go ahead and hit en route. So we're en route to 2903 West March Lane. We were not instructed to stage, so when we arrive on scene, we will then hit on scene. And that places us on scene. If you'll notice, with each status change, we have a color change for the unit in the above pane. So this is red, showing us that we're on scene. When we hit en route, we actually will be showing as purple. So we are on scene. We're handling the call. After the call, we go available on radio. We'll click that, and that puts us back into the system as available. We do not need to hit the unavailable button at any time. So we're en route back to our quarters. We get back to our quarters, and we hit in quarters. And that places us back in quarters. Those statuses will be reflected in the status view, which we will go over later on in the video. We're now going to go over the status view. At the top of the status view, we show the calls that are within the system. Right now we're showing engine 10 en route to 6911 Annapolis Quay Circle. Below that, in the next pane, we show all the units that are available within the system. If you'll notice, Company 10 only has Hazmat 10 available because Engine 10 has been pulled from the available resources and has been assigned to a call. They are showing purple with a status of en route. When they arrive at the call, this ER will turn to OS and the color will change to red. Within the system status, we are showing the various companies, Company 1, Company 2, Company 3, Company 4, and so on, and it shows the resources that are available within those companies. So Company 4, we have BC2 and Engine 4. As these units are assigned calls, they will drop down into the next pane. But while they are available, they will sit to the right of their company, following it in a linear fashion. BC2 is in yellow, and Engine 4 is in white. When a unit is in yellow, it shows that that unit is AOR, or available on radio. When the unit is white, it shows that the unit is in quarters and available for a call. When a unit is attached to a call and is in the lower pane, such as Engine 10 is right now, you can double-click on that unit and pull up a unit activity report. This unit activity report will show all the activity that this unit has had within approximately the last 24 hours. We can scroll through it and find just about everything out about what calls they went on, what time they were dispatched, and when they returned to quarters. We're going to go ahead and close that window. Within the status view, we can also double-click on a unit, such as Battalion 2, and pull up a unit activity report from there as well. In the top pane, if we wanted to double-click on the address, we can pull up the CFS call and look at the information pertaining to that call. As you can see, Engine 10 has arrived on scene, the status has changed in color to red, and the status has changed to OS. When Engine 10 goes AOR, they will be moved back up into the available screen, either yellow or white. Once again, yellow meaning that they are AOR, or available on radio, and white meaning that they are available in quarters, or AIQ. We will now cover messaging. Messaging in Mobile Trak is actually quite simple. It's much like emailing. Along our four main tabs, we'll choose the last tab, and we will select from the right bottom of the screen, we'll select who we want to send a message to. I'm signed in as Decon10. What I'll do is I'll choose Engine 2, and I'm going to send them a message. I'm going to call this message test, and I will send them a message saying, "This is a test. Please reply." If I can spell. Got it. And then I hit send. This message is being sent to Engine 2, and hopefully they're all signed on and ready to go, and will give me a reply. Now my reply will come at the top pane of the screen, right below the message tab, and of course it'll have a time, date, who it's from, who it's to, the subject, and then of course the message. To the left of the screen, about the middle of it, we have the send pane, which we've just been looking at under that tab, and then we have receive. So I just received a response from Engine 2. I'm going to click on it. It's up here in the top pane. I'm going to double click, and it comes into the received pane down below from Engine 2 to Decon 10. The subject is test. Okay, got it. I'm going to hit reply, and I will reply, "Thanks. I got it too." Okay, and there's two-way communication there. We're able to talk back and forth. We're going to send a message to dispatch by choosing D2, subject, test. This is a test. Please reply. I'm going to hit send. Now the message is sent. We're going to wait for a response back. While we're waiting for that response, we can go right on up here. Look at this message from Engine 2, and I'm going to say I'm going to delete it. I'm tired of that message. And I'm going to hit delete, and it's going to ask me, "Are you sure you want to remove this message?" Yes. I will hit yes, and that message will be gone. We can sit here and wait for a reply, which we just got. Got your message from D2, Dispatch 2, so I will reply to him and say, "Thanks. You're now in my video." Send. And then if we decide we want to send a message to BC1. Subject is test. This is a test. And then I decide I don't want to send that message. I can hit clear fields. And that'll clear it. And we can move on to what we want to do next. So they wrote back received test. I think that's great, but I'm going to go ahead and delete the message. I'll grab this pane, bring it over, hit yes. And I'm going to go ahead and delete all my messages and get a nice clear tablet once again. I think that wraps up messaging. That should do it. Next, we're going to go over other functions and things we want to look at in Mobile Trak that we might not always use, but are very good to know. So when we look at Mobile Trak, there are some things that we need to know that are good to know, but we might not use them all the time. Like if we're responding at night, the screen can be too bright for the driver. So what we would do is we'd go to File, click on File, and click on Night Mode. Night Mode will actually darken the screen down and change the color of a lot of the lettering so that it is more visible at night and yet does not emit as much light. We would not impede the driver's ability to see. Some of the things are a little harder to see, like previous history. The colors do run into each other a little bit. And boundary, giving District 401C here. It's not really that big of a deal as long as you know where you're going. We're going to go ahead and switch this back to regular mode. Along our toolbar on the top, we can go to Edit. We can search for a keyword on the CFS list, CFS entry or child entry. We just enter it there. We can also go to Find Next, which basically finds the next entry along that list. On Update now, we really won't have to hit since we have background updates turned on. We already know what resource group does, so we don't need to go over that. Reports, go to CFS report, and we can query the CFS or unit number. If we want to see CFS reports for engine 2, we can punch in engine 2, create report, and that will pull up all the the latest CFS report, the last CFS report for engine 2, and we can see what call they went on. Unit activity report, we can query these units and see what units have been doing. We add that and it drops them into the box below. In our entry field, we're going to enter engine 9 and add them, and then we're going to hit report. And that will pull up the activity for both of these engines over the last 24 hours. As we can see, they've been very busy. So under reports, we go to subunit report, and we click on that. No subunits attached to the units were found. We don't run subunits in our system, so that's not a report we have to worry about. Under help, about Mobile Trak, this tells us about the CAD status display, what the program name is, and the program version, which is a whole bunch of 4s, a 3, and a 0, and a 9. And probably won't need to know too much about that. Under help, we can go to help, we pull up help, and it has these help commands, and we have to complete these links. So right now when you click on them, you'll get an error on all of them. So they won't do you any help, but eventually we will have those all completed, and you'll be able to click through and see incident codes, unit statuses, zone abbreviations, subunits, and command line commands if you'd like to check those out. And at the very bottom, we have this command line. We haven't talked about it through this video, but we're going to talk about it now. We have this call pulled up at 1130 Monaco Court. It's an advice call. We pulled it up in the CFS, and we want to say, hey, you know what? Let's extend this out a little bit, and let's use a command to help us find the location of this call. So we're going to type in GZ and hit enter. So we punch that into the command line. What this does is this pulls up a Google Maps. GZ stands for Google Zoom. While that's being pulled up, I am going to go ahead and show you here the command line puts the command that was just given and the CFS into the command line box, and it'll run command lines on this query, and it'll show you what you've done on this CFS. We're going to go ahead and go back to the Monaco Court. Now we've run into a little issue, maybe a little bit, and that's that it says it's showing Stockton, but it says MT, Stockton MT as in Montana. So we're going to go ahead and change that to California because we are in California. And we'll click on that. That will pull that up, and we can click on directions. It will say directions from, we'll go 425 North El Dorado Street. We'll select that from the list. Hit search, and that'll give us a direction from our location to 1130 Monaco Court. 425 North El Dorado to 1130 Monaco Court. It's pretty cool. Just another way to map. It's one of those things that it's available to you. You don't have to use it right now, and it doesn't show hydrant layers or anything like that. So pulling a map, especially on a fire, is probably the better thing until we actually get our mapping software in place. I'm going to go ahead and close this map. We're just going to go ahead and look across the bottom of Mobile Trak now. We see version 4.4.43.409. Host is CFS View. Auto update, as you can see, is on. Our last update was 4:45 p.m. Well, that wraps up our Mobile Trak video for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.